Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge for the first week of May. It is May Day, and we're getting started. We've got with us today, we got Bill, Sheila, Henry, Elizabeth, and Danielle. And we were going to be doing monologues, and then for round two, we're going to be doing the middle scene from Much Ado About Nothing, where Don John is unleashing his dastardly plot to fool the princes, and then listen for smaller scenes. So I had predetermined the order in advance. Maggie's not with us yet. Number two is Henry. So Henry will do the first monologue. Let's go ahead and take everyone, myself and Henry, out of the stream, and then we'll add so Henry will perform Mistress Quickly. He's in Arthur's bosom. Henry V, Act 2, Scene 3.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready, go.
Okay. No, sure, he's not in hell. He's in Arthur's bosom. If ever man went to Arthur's bosom, I made a finer end and went away, and had it been made any Christian child departed even just before 12 and 1, even in the morning turning of the tide. For after I saw him fumble with the sheets and play with the flowers and smile upon his fingers' ends, I knew there was but one way, for his nose was as sharp as a pen, and a babble of green fields. How now, Sir John? Quoth I, what man, be of good cheer? So I cried out, God, 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 3 or 4 times. Now I, to comfort him, bid him I should not think of God. I hoped there was no need to trouble himself with any such thoughts yet. So I bade me lay more clothes on his feet. I put my hand into the bed and felt them, and they were as cold as any stone. And I felt his knees, and they were as cold as any stone. And so upward and upward, and all was as cold as any stone.
Okay, very nice. While you were going, Maggie joined us, and that's great. It's her turn. So Maggie, welcome. How you doing?
Hi. Unfortunately, I'm on my phone I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh yeah, I can hear you just fine. So
okay, yeah, I'm on my phone for this, and for some reason my other devices will not get the internet, and so I have not done this before with trying to find the text on the phone and read it there.
Okay, well we'll see if it works. But
yeah.
Anyway, so I'll go ahead and everybody, Maggie is going to do that. Is if she can make her phone work for it. Maggie will do. Oops, and we just lost Maggie. Music be the food of love. Well, if Maggie comes back, we'll remember that. So that'll at least be easier for her to find if she's looking for, the very, very beginning of the play of music. So that's what she will do if she makes it back in. But other than that, it is. Oh, actually, here she is. Hey.
Sorry, did I end up leaving? Because when I try to go to get to a place where I can get online to look up the text, I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
we
able to
ended
do
up
this.
getting Duke Orsino, If Music Be the Food of Love. That might be easier for you to find, the very, very beginning of the play.
The thing is, when I tried to go to the internet to do that, that's, I think, what kicked me out. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
Okay.
mix it up today, but I guess I'm not going to be able to do this. So
Okay.
yeah,
Understood.
guys,
So,
I should
well,
take it
we
time, but
regret
I
that you
hope
can't.
everybody has a wonderful.
We regret you can't
Everybody have,
participate. But hopefully, you'll be back next week, and you
I
can at
hope
least
so
give it a
too.
chance. All
Thank
right.
you very much. Bye-bye.
Hi, Maggie. Okay, so that's unfortunate she can't perform today, but I will go ahead, and it was my turn next, so I'll spin for myself. I'll keep that on the wheel since it wasn't performed. So I will be performing also from Twelfth Night, Olivia. Oh, what a deal of scorn, looks beautiful. Twelfth Night, Act 3, Scene 1. Let me find that. Okay, yeah, I believe this is when she decides she's in love with Viola, whom she knows as Cesario. Okay. Oh, what a deal of scorn looks beautiful in the contempt and anger of his lip. A murderous guilt shows not itself more soon than love that would seem hid. Love's night is noon, Cesario. By the roses of the spring, by maidhood, honor, truth, and everything, I love thee so that, maugre all thy pride, nor wit nor reason can my passion hide. Do not extort thy reasons from this clause, for that I woo, thou therefore hast no cause. But rather reason thus with reason fetter. Love sought is good, but given sought is better. Okay. That was a fun short one for me. Back to Sheila is up next. How you doing?
Very good. Good to be here.
Okay. So everybody, Sheila will be performing the Countess from All's Well That Ends Well. What angel shall bless this unworthy husband? And the context is it's not her husband, she's referring to her son, the husband of Helena. So All's Well That Ends Well, Act 3, Scene 4. It's approximately 29 lines in.
Let's see. Now, is this a serious scene?
I believe it is, where she's finding out about her son, where Helena saved the king, and he promised in exchange that what you get is he'd make any man she wanted marry her, and she made Bertram, and so now she's reacting to her son's bit, saying that fine, they can make me marry her, but they can't make me sleep with her.
Oh,
And I won't. And I'll call her my wife when I get the ring off her finger, and she's pregnant with my child. And that was the scene with Diana we performed last week. Is how she dupes him into.
okay. Very good. Got it.
So Countess of Roussilliion from All's Well That Ends Well. So whenever you're ready.
What angel shall bless this unworthy husband? He cannot thrive unless her prayers, whom heaven delights to hear and loves to grant, reprieve him from the wrath of greatest justice. Right, Rinaldo, to this unworthy husband of his wife. Let every word weigh heavy of her worth, that he does weigh too light. My greatest grief, though little did he feel it. Sit down sharply, dispatch the most convenient messenger. When haply he shall hear that she is gone, he will return. And hope I may that she, hearing so much, will speed her foot again, led hither by pure love, which of them both is dearest to me. I have no skill and sense to make distinction. Provide this messenger. My heart is heavy, and mine age is weak. Grief would have tears, and sorrow bids me speak.
Very nice. Okay, Danielle. Danielle, it's your turn. I see Alex joined us while you were performing, so we're glad to have him with us. It's not his turn yet, but I just wanted to mention he's made it. He's here. So it's Danielle's turn, and Elizabeth is on deck. So Danielle will perform. Okay, Puck, if we shadows have offended, the very end of Midsummer Night's Dream.
Thank you. I will just bring that up.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Just depending on my internet speed here. Ooh. If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here while these visions did appear, and this weak and idle theme no more yielding but a dream. Gentles, do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend. And as I am an honest Puck, if we have unearned luck to scape the serpent's tongues, we will make amends ere long, else the Puck a liar call. So, good night unto you all. Give me your hands if we be friends, and Robin shall restore amends.
Okay, thank you, Danielle. Up next is Elizabeth. Hello, Elizabeth. Elizabeth will perform. Portia. Yeah, this is the ring where she hands the ring to Bassanio for the first time. So we performed her most famous one, the Quality of Mercy is Not Strained one. This one has been on the wheel since the very beginning. I don't think it's ever been spun until now, so I'm looking forward to this. So I miss.
Okay, hold on.
This is just after Bassanio has chosen the correct box, and she hands the ring to him. So whenever you're ready.
Okay. You see me, Lord Bassanio, where I stand, such as I am. Though for myself alone, I would not be ambitious in my wish, to wish myself much better. Yet for you, I would be trebled 20 times myself, 1,000 times more fair, 10,000 times more rich, that only to stand high in your account, I might in virtue, beauties, livings, friends, exceed an account. But the full sum of me is sum of something, which to terms engross is an unlessoned girl, unschooled, unpracticed. Happy in this, she is not yet so old, but she may learn. Happier than this, she is not bred so dull, but she can learn. Happiest of all is that her gentle spirit commits itself to yours to be directed, as from her lord, her governor, her king. Myself and what is mine, to you and yours is now converted. But now I was the lord of this fair mansion, master of my servants, queen o'er myself, and even now, but now, this house, these servants, and this same myself are yours, my lord. I give them with this ring, which when you part from, lose, or give away, let it presage the ruin of your love, and be my vantage to exclaim on you.
It's always nice when our actors are able to, on a moment's notice, we don't even know what we're going to perform yet, we can, on a moment's notice, find a prop that goes right along.
Yeah, and that play is the one I know least. I've never seen it. It's very mysterious to me.
It's one of my favorites, actually.
Mhm.
But it's interesting how the idea of the game is you never know what you're going to perform, you can't prepare, and part of the randomness sometimes, even though you don't know, you not only are ready to do it, you're ready with your very own prop. So
it's a good speech, actually. I like that.
It really is. Okay, and that was awesome. Okay, it is Alex's turn. Alex, you're up next. Hi. Actually, it was Eleanor was going to be next. She didn't make it today. Well, she might come in late, but because she was doing her other reading of Thomas More. She had messaged me just this morning about if I could join. I would have loved to have joined that, but I knew it was going to overlap with this. But anyway, Alex is going to perform. Imogen from Cymbeline, Oh for a Horse with Wings, Act 3, Scene 2. Okay, so whenever you're
How does it begin, by the way? Who thy lord, or something else?
I believe the line that I had on screen is what starts at "Oh for a horse." I believe I might be wrong.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Oh, for a horse with wings! Hearest thou, Pisanio? He is at Milford Haven. Read and tell me how far 'tis thither. If one of mean affairs may plot in a week, why may not I glide thither in a day? Then, true Pisanio, who longs like me to see thy lord? Who longs? Oh, let me bate, but not like me, yet longst, but in a fainter kind. Oh, not like me, for mine's beyond. Say and speak thick. Thus a counsellor should fill the bores of hearing, to the smothering of the sense. How far it is to this same blessed Milford? And by the way, tell me how Wales was made so happy as to inherit such a heaven. But first of all, how we may steal from hence, and through the gap that we shall make in time, from our hence going and our return to excuse. But first, how get hence? Why should excuse be born or ere begot? We will talk of that hereafter. Pretty, speak. How many score of miles will read twixt hour and hour?
Okay, thank you, Alex. Last monologue before we do the Much Ado About Nothing scene will be Bill. And Bill is going to perform Desdemona from Othello, my noble about as you bewitched my child. He's speaking to Barbancio here, the father. I'm sorry, she's speaking to her father, Barbancio. Now, it's toward the end of the scene. Act 1, Scene 3, Desdemona.
My noble father, is that how it starts?
I believe, yeah.
Yes.
Starts with my noble father. Okay, so whenever you're ready, go ahead.
My noble father, I do perceive here a divided duty. To you, I am bound for life and education. My life and education both do learn me how to respect you. You are the lord of duty. I am hitherto your daughter. But here's my husband. And so much duty as my mother showed to you, preferring you before her father, so much I challenge that I may profess due to the Moor, my lord.
Okay, I didn't realize that was such a short one.
It was really short.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so that said, we now have Much Ado About Nothing, Act 3, Scene 2. This is after Claudio has become engaged to Hero. They're preparing for the wedding, and Benedict is now in love with Beatrice because they've already played the trick on both of them as matchmakers. They're preparing for that when Don John comes in and breaks the news of his, trying to break up the wedding. So the roles to cast again: Don Pedro, Leonato, Claudio, Benedict, and then Don John, who comes in at the end. So the order, oh shit, I got to take a couple names off of people that aren't here. And then we'll spin to see who gets first choice. And okay, so the first choice of roles out of those 5 will be, okay, so Alex gets to choose first.
Don Pedro, please.
Okay, so Alex is going to be Don Pedro. Next choice will be made by Elizabeth. Elizabeth, what role would you like?
Why not Benedict?
Benedict, okay. Next choice will be Julia. What role would you like?
I'll take. Is Claudio taken?
Not yet. I'll give you Claudio. Julia will be Claudio. Next choice. Bill, who would you like to be? Don John or Leonato?
Don John, please.
Okay. And then Leonato will be quick. It's going to be either me or her. I couldn't. Right there on the border. Okay. So everybody knows. Hold on. Danielle is Leonato. So the scene starts. Let's see. So Don John doesn't come into the end, so I'll take Bill out of the stream for now. It start. Somebody's in the stream. Oh, yeah, myself. So I'll. It's so the first line I do is Don Pedro's. I do stay till your marriage be consummate. So that's how it starts. So whenever you guys are all ready, we can start with that. I'll take myself out of the stream since I'm not in this scene. The 4 people are in the scene, and then Don John will 2 of them will leave, and then Don John enters. So whenever you're ready.
I do but stay till your marriage be consummate, and then go away toward Aragon.
I'll bring you thither, my lord, if you'll vouchsafe me.
Nay, that would be as great a soil in the new gloss of your marriage as to show a child his new coat and forbid him to wear it. I will only be bold with Benedict for his company, for from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot he is all mirth. He had twice or thrice cut Cupid's bowstring, and the little hangman dare not shoot at him. He had a heart as sound as a bell, and his tongue is the clapper, for what his heart thinks, his tongue speaks.
Gallants, I am not as I have been.
So say I, methinks you are sadder.
I hope he be in love.
Hang him, truant. There's no true drop of blood in him to be truly touched with love. If he be sad, he wants money.
I have the toothache.
Draw it.
Hang it.
You must hang it first and draw it afterwards.
What? Sigh for the toothache?
Where is but a humour or a worm?
Well, everyone
Well,
can master a grief, but he that has it.
Yet say I, he is in love.
there's no appearance of fancy in him, unless it be a fancy that he had to strange disguises. As to be a Dutchman today, a Frenchman tomorrow, or in the shape of 2 countries at once, as a German from the waist downward, Oslops, and a Spaniard from the hip upward, no doublet. Unless he had a fancy to this foolery, as it appears he had, he is no fool for fancy, as you would have it appear he is.
If he be not in love with some woman, there's no believing old signs. He brushes his hat of the mornings. What should that bode?
Had any man seen him at the barber's?
No, but the barber's man hath been seen with him, and the old ornament of his cheek hath already stuffed tennis balls.
Indeed, he looks younger than he did by the loss of a beard.
Nay, rubs himself with civet. Can you smell him out of by that?
That's as much to say the sweet youth's in love.
The greatest note of it is his melancholy.
And when was he wont to wash his face?
Yea, or to paint himself, for the which I hear what they say of him.
Nay, but his jesting spirit, which is now crept into a lute string, and now governed by stops.
Indeed, that tells a heavy tale for him. Conclude. He is in love.
Nay, but I know who loves him.
That would I know too. I warrant one that knows him not.
Yes, and his ill conditions, and in despite of all, dies for him.
She shall be buried with her face upwards.
Yet, is this no charm for the toothache? Old Signor, walk aside with me. I have studied 8 or 9 wise words to speak to you, which these hobby horses need not hear.
For my life, to break with him about Beatrice.
'Tis even so. Hero and Margaret have by this played their parts with Beatrice, and then the 2 bears will not bite one another when they meet.
My lord and brother, God save you.
Good then, brother.
If your leisure serve, I would speak with you.
In private?
If it please you. Yet Count Claudio may hear, for what I would speak of concerns him.
What's the matter?
means your lordship to be married tomorrow?
You know he does.
I know not that when he knows what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
You may think... sorry.
You may think I love you not. Let that appear hereafter, and aim better at me by that I now will manifest. For my brother, I think he holds you well, and in dearness of heart have hoped to effect your ensuing marriage. Surely suit ill spent and labor ill bestowed.
Why? What's the matter?
I came hither to tell you, and circumstances shortened, for she has been too long talking of, the lady is disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she. Leonardo's hero, your hero, every man's hero.
Disloyal?
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. I could say she were worse. Think you of a worse title, and it will fit her to it. Wonder not, till further warrant. Go with me tonight. You shall see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding day. If you love her then, tomorrow wed her. But it would better fit your honor to change your mind.
May this be so?
I will not think it.
If you dare not trust that you see, confess not that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough. And when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see anything tonight, why I should not marry her tomorrow in the congregation, where I should wed, there will I shame her.
And as I would for thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her.
I will disparage her no farther till you are my witnesses. Bear it coldly, but till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
Oh, they untowardly turned.
Oh, mischief strangely thwarting.
Oh, plague right well prevented. So will you say when you have seen the sequel.
Okay. Very
I
nice.
don't know if Claudio's supposed to be that way, but that's how I saw him anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Love that. That's my personal favorite of the comedies. Much Ado About Nothing. That's the serious part of it, though. Okay. So we've done that scene. The two people that didn't get a role in that are myself and Henry. So we'll get the first two choices when it comes to the shorter scenes. The one of us who will get the first choice will be okay. So I'll get first choice. Henry will get second. And then we'll go in reverse order from the people. So there's 7 of us. So we do short scenes to give roles enough for 7 people. Let's see. That's the wrong. That's the 2 to 3 player scenes. So we'll do. Macbeth, Act 2, Scene 2. Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. So those are the first 2 roles to be cast. Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. I can't remember which scene that is. I don't. Oh, I think that's the I have done the deed scene with the all great Neptune's oceans. The next scene, Richard II. So there's 3 people in this. This is the deposition scene, the one I was saying last week. They weren't allowed to perform. It was not performed in Shakespeare's lifetime because it was cut. So Richard II, Act 4, Scene 1. The 3 roles to cast there are King Richard, King Henry, also known as Bolingbroke, and and I think what I did is to make it a short. The Duke of York and Duke of Northumberland, Earl of Northumberland, had smaller parts, so I combined them. So I'll have one person will be combined as both the Duke of York and who will read the lines for York and Northumberland. So 3 actors will be enough to do that scene. And you have the former king, the current king, and those 2 lords who are on the side of the new king. I'm going to combine into one, so there'll be 3 roles. So that's 5 roles. 2 more roles to be cast. One more. So there'll be one more scene. King John. This is good. This is where Hubert has come to blind. I'm sorry. This is where King John is ordering Hubert to kill the prince. King John 4.2. So the king and Hubert. Okay. So the roles to cast: Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, and Act 2, King Richard, King Henry, and the Duke of York and the Duke of Northumberland that will combine into one character, and then King John, the King, and Hubert. So that's 7 roles for the 7 of us. And I have first choice. I'll take Macbeth. So I'll take Henry gets the second choice.
I'd like Lady Macbeth. Yeah.
Okay. So Henry will take Lady Macbeth.
Such a great scene, though, right?
And the last Danielle had the last choice in the other one. Danielle, what would you like of the remaining roles?
Can I take Richard II?
Okay, the king or King Richard?
Richard, yeah, Richard himself. I haven't looked at the scene, but I'll just go with the first one on that list. Mark, can I just say, Maggie is able to do a monologue if that's possible. I think you just haven't been able to see chat.
Oh, okay.
Just to let you know. Before
we start the scenes, everybody think we should? I've been running things, so I haven't been.
No, you've got a lot to pay attention to, so I just thought I'd.
Oh, but thanks for letting me know. Next choice, Bill gets the next choice. Bill, which role would you like?
What was the third scene?
The third scene was King John, where King John.
Oh yeah. All right. So how about Bolingbroke in the second scene?
Okay, Bolingbroke in the second. Okay. Bill will take Bolingbroke in the second scene. Next choice, Sheila gets next choice.
I'll do Carlisle.
That's
in the scene, Bishop of Carlisle, is that correct?
Or no, it was Duke. You're talking about the King Richard scene?
No, I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. I'm talking about Richard II. Isn't Carlisle in there?
Not in this part. Yeah, he is in the big scene. I'm just doing the smaller scene that has just the king and Bolingbroke and a couple lines here and there from a couple of Bolingbroke supporters, York and Northumberland, who I'm combining into one character for the purposes of this scene.
Am I in the right place? Is this Act 4, Scene 1?
Yeah, the depth. It would not be the whole scene though. That's just the part where it's. I think it's just the part where Bolingbroke is saying, "Are you contented to resign the crown?" And it's a dialogue between the 2 cousins. And
the first half, you mean, or the second half?
I think it's toward the middle. Let me see what. Let me open the scene here. It would be after the Duke of Carlisle's I think it would start with Richard II saying, "Alack, I am sent for," where the king, the Duke. Yeah, I believe that's where the scene would start. "Alack, why am I sent for to a king?" I believe would be the line that starts that bit.
What is left now?
the
right?
Duke of York and Northumberland, who we're combining into one character.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, Sheila will take that. So now we've got the two parts in the King John scene, and Elizabeth. Elizabeth, did you want to be King John or Hubert? Elizabeth, you're muted.
Sorry, I'll be King John.
Okay, so Elizabeth will be King John, and so Alex then will be Hubert. So everyone's got their role.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, you get a chance to look it over. I'll let Maggie do her monologue. Maggie, you're back and you're able to do. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put your Duke Orlando, if music be the food of love.
Right, I have it actually.
So Duke Orlando. Whenever you're ready, go for it. Do your monologue, and then we'll do those 3 scenes.
Okay, great. All right. If music be the food of love, play on. Give me excess of it, that surfeiting the appetite may sicken and so die. That strain again. Ah, it had a dying fall. Oh, it came over my ear like the sweet sound that breathes upon a bank of violets, stealing and giving odor. Enough, no more. 'Tis not so sweet now as it was before. Oh, spirit of love, how quick and fresh thou art, that, notwithstanding thy capacity, receiveth as the sea, not enters there, of what validity and pitch, soar, but falls into abatement and low price, even in a minute. So full of shapes is fancy, that it alone is high fantastical.
Okay, great, Maggie. We're glad you were able to make it back, and we were able to
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Well, here's the rest.
Awesome. Okay, so our first, myself and Henry are doing the Macbeth scene. Let's see. All right, so it starts with, actually, I'm off stage, so I'll put just you. It's just Lady Macbeth on the stage to start, so I'll put myself in after. So whenever you're ready, you start.
Okay. That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched him hath given me fire. Hark! Oh, peace! It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman, which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
Oh, alack, I am afraid they have awakened, and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark! I laid their daggers ready, he could not miss them. Had he not resembled my father as I slept, I'd have done it. Oh, my husband!
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did you not speak?
When?
Now.
Has I descended?
Aye.
Hark. Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
As one did laugh in sleep, and one cried murder, that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them. that they did say their prayers and address them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other. As they had seen me with these hangman's hands, listening their fear, I could not say amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I had the most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways. So it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep, the innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care. Death of each day's life, sore labor's bath, balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more through all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think this brain sickly of things. Go get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Oh, why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look on't again I dare not.
Infirm of purpose, give me the daggers, and sleeping and the dead are as but pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? When every noise appalls me. What hands are these? They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's oceans wash this blood clean from my hands? No. This my hand will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your colour, but I shame to wear a heart so white. Ah, I hear knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark, more knocking. Get on your nightgown, lest occasional callers and showers to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
Know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wick, Duncan, with thy knocking! I would thou couldst.
Fab.
Okay.
Thank you for that. I'm going to have to go in 5 minutes, so
okay,
I'll
well,
say
thank you for joining us.
I'll stay on to the beginning. Right.
Okay, awesome. See you, Henry. Okay, so next we have the scene from Richard II. So we have Danielle as Bolingbroke. I'm sorry, Danielle is King Richard. Danielle is King Richard. Bill as Bolingbroke, and Sheila will be performing the two loyal supporters of Bolingbroke, York, and Northumberland. It's not like she's double cast. We're just imagining it's the same character to make things simpler. So, and I thought we would start from when Richard is first brought in by Duke of York as a prisoner. So we'd start from that point. So whenever Richard will start us off from that.
Alack, why am I sent for to a king before I have shook off the regal thoughts wherewith I reigned? I hardly yet have learned to insinuate, flatter, bow, and bend my limbs. Give sorrow leave a while to tutor me to this submission. Yet I well remember favours of these men, were they not mine? Did they not sometime cry, all hail to me? So Judas did to Christ. But he in 12 found truth in all but one, I in 12,000 none. God save the King! Will no man say amen? Am I both priest and clerk? Well then, amen. God save the King, although I be not he, and yet amen, if heaven do think him me. To do what service am I sent for hither? Will none tell me? Have we York and Northumberland?
York and Northumberland, what's Edmund of Langley?
I believe York and Northumberland should be present.
I'm sorry if I missed one, or if I told you the wrong spot to come in. Sorry if I screwed this one up.
No, I thought the characters were York, Northumberland as one, Bolingbroke and Richard II. No?
Yeah, that is where I planned it. I either missed somebody when I put this on the wheel, or I told you to start at the wrong place.
Maybe it's different things. In my script, it says Duke of York.
Oh.
And mine says Edmund of Langley, so I'm sorry.
Edmund of Langley is the Duke of York. Edmund Duke of York.
Deeply apologetic. That's why I was confused. Okay.
So I was right. It's just a matter of different scripts naming the characters differently. So I'm sorry. So why don't we take it from the top now that the confusion is so sorry to our viewers that we had to screw up based on the different versions of the script naming the characters differently. But let's go ahead and take it from the top. So.
Alack, why am I sent for to a king before I have shook off the regal thoughts wherewith I reigned? I hardly yet have learned to insinuate, flatter, bow, and bend my limbs. Give sorrow leave a while to tutor me to this submission. Yet I well remember the favours of these men. Were they not mine? Did they not sometime cry, all hail to me? So Judas did to Christ. But he in 12 found truth in all but one, I in 12,000 none. God save the King! Will no man say amen? Am I both priest and clerk? Well then, amen. God save the King, although I be not he, and yet amen, if heaven do think him me. To do what service am I sent for hither?
To do that office of thine own goodwill, which tired majesty did make thee offer, the resignation of thy state and crown to Henry Bolingbroke.
Give me the crown. Here, cousin, seize the crown. Here, cousin, on this side my hand, and on that side yours. Now is this golden crown like a deep well that owes 2 buckets, filling one another, the emptier ever dancing in the air, the other down, unseen and full of water. That bucket down and full of tears am I, drinking my griefs, whilst you mount up on high.
I thought you had been willing to resign.
My crown I am, but still my griefs are mine. You may my glories and my state depose, but not my griefs. Still am I king of those.
Part of your cares you give me with your crown.
Your cares set up do not pluck my cares down. My care is loss of care by old care done. Your care is gain of care by new care won. The cares I give, I have, though given away. They tend the crown, yet still with me they stay.
Are you contented to resign the crown?
Aye, no, no, aye, for I must nothing be. Therefore, no, no, for I resign to thee. Yeah, mark me how I will undo myself. I give this heavy weight from off my head, and this unwieldy sceptre from my hand, the pride of kingly sway from out my heart. With mine own tears I wash away my balm. With mine own hands I give away my crown. With mine own tongue deny my sacred state. With mine own breath release all duties, rights. All pomp and majesty I do forswear. My manners, rents, revenues I forego. My acts, decrees, and statutes I deny. God pardon all oaths that are broke to me. God keep all vows unbroke that swear to thee. Make me that nothing have, with nothing grieved, and thou with all pleased that hast all achieved. Long mayst thou live in Richard's seat to sit, and soon lie Richard in an earthly pit. God save King Harry, unkinged Richard says, and send him many years of sunshine days. What more remains?
No more, but that you read these accusations and these grievous crimes committed by your person and your followers against the state and profit of this land, that by confessing them the souls of men may deem that you are worthily deposed.
Must I do so? Must I ravel out my weaved up folly? Gentle Northumberland, if thy offences were upon record, would it not shame thee in so fair a troop to read a lecture of them? If thou wouldst, there shouldst thou find one heinous article, containing the deposing of a king and cracking the strong warrant of an oath, marked with a blot, damned in the book of heaven. Nay, all of you that stand and look upon, whilst that my wretchedness doth bait myself, though some of you with Pilate wash your hands, showing an outward pity, yet you, Pilates, have here delivered me to my sour cross, and water cannot wash away your sin.
My lord, dispatch. Read o'er these articles.
Mine eyes are full of tears, I cannot see. And yet salt water blinds them not so much, but they can see a sort of traitors here. Nay, if I turn mine eyes upon myself, I find myself a traitor with the rest. For I have given here my soul's consent to undeck the pompous body of a king, made glory base, and sovereignty a slave, proud majesty a subject, state a peasant.
My lord.
No, lord of thine, thou haught insulting man, nor no man's lord. I have no name, no title, no, not that name that was given me at the font, but 'tis usurped. Alack, the heavy day that I have worn so many winters out, and know not now what name to call myself. Oh, that I were a mockery king of snow, standing before the sun of Bolingbroke to melt myself away in water drops. Good king, great king, and yet not greatly good, and if my word be sterling, yet in England. Let it command a mirror hither straight, that I may show me what a face I have, since it is bankrupt of his majesty.
Go, some of you, and fetch a looking glass.
Read o'er this paper while the glass doth come.
Fiend, thou torment'st me ere I come to hell.
Urge it no more, my lord Northumberland.
The commons will not then be satisfied.
They shall be satisfied. I'll read enough when I do see the very book indeed where all my sins are writ, and that's myself. Give me the glass, and therein will I read. No deeper wrinkles yet. Hath sorrow struck so many blows upon this face of mine and made no deeper wounds? Oh, flattering glass! Like to my followers in prosperity, thou dost beguile me. Was this the face that every day under his household roof did keep 10,000 men? Was this the face that, like the sun, did make beholders wink? Was this the face that faced so many follies and was at last outfaced by Bolingbroke? A brittle glory shineth in this face, as brittle as the glory is the face. There it is, cracked in 100 shivers. Not, silent king, the moral of this sport, how soon my sorrow hath destroyed my face.
The shadow of your sorrow hath destroyed the shadow of your face.
Say that again. The shadow of my sorrow. Ha! Let's see, 'tis very true. My grief lies all within, and these external manners of laments are merely shadows to the unseen grief that swells with silence in the tortured soul. There lies the substance, and I thank thee, King, for thy great bounty, that not only givest me cause to wail, but teachest me the way how to lament the cause. I'll beg one boon, and then be gone and trouble you no more. Shall I obtain it?
Name it, fair cousin.
Fair cousin, I am greater than a king, for when I was a king, my flatterers were then but subjects. Being now a subject, I have a king here to my flatterer. Being so great, I have no need to beg.
Yet ask.
And shall I have?
You shall.
Then give me leave to go.
Oh, whither?
Whither you will. So I were from your sights.
Go. Some of you convey him to the tower.
Oh, good. Convey. Conveyors are you all, that rise thus nimbly by a true king's fall.
On Wednesday next, we solemnly set down our coronation. Lords, prepare yourselves.
Wow, that scene is so. I mean, just I really like that whole play. I think it's one of Shakespeare's most underrated. That scene, particularly the scene that they couldn't get past the censors while Shakespeare was alive. It is just really a gut wrenching scene and really heartbreaking, and especially the way Danielle played it. I mean, just made it even more heartbreaking. That's such a powerful scene. So we had some glitches getting it started, and I'm glad I decided to say let's just go back, restart it, because once we did, it was just great, and everybody did great with that scene. So lastly, to wrap up today's episode, we will have King John, Alex and Elizabeth are going to do Hubert and the King. It's toward the end of the scene. Hubert's in. He exits. He comes. This is we would take it from when the. I'm sorry, I put the wrong person in. We take it from when the King has just been informed by the messenger of his mother's death. My mother dead, and then Hubert enters, and that's the rest. Asking is about Did you kill Prince Arthur like I told you? Okay. So whenever you guys are ready.
Are you ready, Alex?
Yes.
So should I go from my mother dead?
Yeah.
Okay. My mother dead!
My lord, they say 5 moons were seen tonight. 4 fixed, and the 5th did whirl about, the other 4 in wondrous motion.
5 moons!
Old men and beldams in the streets do prophesy upon it dangerously. Young Arthur's death is common in their mouths, and when they talk of him, they shake their heads and whisper one another in the ear. And he that speaks doth gripe the hearer's wrist, whilst he that hears makes fearful action with wrinkled brows, with nods, with rolling eyes. I saw a smith stand with his hammer thus, whilst his iron did on the anvil cool, while with open mouth swallowing a tailor's news, who, with his shears and measure in his hand, standing on slippers, which in his nimble haste he had falsely thrust upon contrary feet, told of a many thousand warlike French that were embattled and ranked in Kent. Another lean, unwashed artificer cuts off his tail and talks of Arthur's death.
Why seek'st thou to possess me with these limbs?
No head, my lord. Why did you not provoke me?
It is the curse of kings to be attended by slaves that take their humours for a warrant to break within the bloody house of life, and on the winking of authority to understand a law, to know the meaning of dangerous majesty when perchance it frowns more upon humour than advised respect.
Here is your hand and seal for what I did.
Oh, when the last account twixt heaven and earth is to be made, then shall this hand and seal witness against us to damnation. How oft the sight of means to do ill deeds make deeds ill done? Hadst not thou been by, a fellow by the hand of nature marked, quoted and signed to do a deed of shame, this murder had not come into my mind. But taking note of thy abhorred aspect, finding thee fit for bloody villainy, apt, liable to be employed in danger, I faintly broke with thee of Arthur's death, and thou, to be endeared to a king, made it no conscience to destroy a prince.
My lord.
Hadst thou but shook thy head, or made a pause when I spake darkly what I purposed, or turned an eye of doubt upon my face, as bid me tell my tale in express words, deep shame had struck me dumb, made me break off, and those thy fears might have wrought fears in me. But thou didst understand me by my signs, and didst in signs again parley with sin. Yea, without stop, didst let thy heart consent, and consequently thy rude hand to act the deed, which both our tongues held vile to name. Out of my sight, and never see me more. My nobles leave me, and my state is braved, even at my gates with ranks of foreign powers, nay, in the body of this fleshly land, this kingdom, this confine of blood and breath, hostility and civil tumult reigns between my conscience and my cousin's death.
Arm you against your other enemies. I'll make a peace between your soul and you. Young Arthur is alive. This hand of mine is yet a maiden and an innocent hand, not painted with the crimson spots of blood. Within this bosom never entered yet the dreadful motion of a murderous thought. And you have slandered nature in my form, which, howsoever rude exteriorly, is yet the cover of a fairer mind than to be butcher of an innocent child.
Doth Arthur live? Oh, haste thee to the peers, throw this report on their incensed rage, and make them tame to their obedience. Forgive the comment that my passion made upon thy feature, for my rage was blind, and foul imaginary eyes of blood presented thee more hideous than thou art. Oh, answer not, but to my closet bring the angry lords with all expedient haste. I conjure thee, but slowly, run more fast.
Okay, nice. So we had some nice variety in the scenes that we did today. And they were all good in their own ways. So anyway, as far as next week, I'll go ahead and I'll spin to see what we're gonna what large scene we're gonna do next week, and then we'll see about it. Next week, the larger scene that we're gonna do will be, if we're for round 2, will be. Okay, Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 2, with Hamlet, Horatio, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern. Okay, so it's basically from the scene after the play within the play, right? I think right from the point where Claudius is spooked, he stands up, "Give me some light away," and Hamlet celebrates, and with Horatio, and then Rosencrantz and Guildenstern and Polonius all come in. So we'll have the roles of Hamlet, Horatio, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern. So that's again 5 roles: Hamlet, Horatio, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, and Polonius. So the part of the scene after the play within the play ends and Claudius is run out, spooked by it. So that's what we have in store for next week, along with, of course, the monologues and the shorter scenes that we don't know what they are until they're spun. As far as announcements, I'm sure I'm speaking for myself, Sheila and Maggie and Alex, about Eager Beaver Shakespeare. That is tomorrow. Vincent's Eager Beaver Shakespeare is doing Coriolanus. So he has that on the announcements under Facebook, and I'll try to connect it so I can stream it here as well, so you can see it here on YouTube as well. So that's the announcement. If anybody, if anybody else has any other announcements, like before, I can't have you all in the stream at once. I can have a maximum of 6 people. So if you have other announcements of upcoming stuff, let me know. I will put it in the comments to the video once this processes and turns into the video on YouTube, and the people watching, therefore, check the announcements. Check the comments for announcements of other great stuff that's coming up in the world of Shakespeare and performing arts. So I'll see a lot of you. I'll see you guys just tomorrow in the Coriolanus reading. Everybody else, I'll see next week for the next round of Wheel of Shakespeare, where we'll do that Hamlet scene and whatever else comes up on the wheel. So I'll see you guys then. Take care. Bye now.